everyone. Here we go. Blender, let's do our gaming first assignment in Blender. Hopefully you have 2.78 or you've gone to the school. You've come to the school and you've gotten a computer. When you open it up, here's your first initial screen. And this is what the interface looks like of Blender 2.78. I've said before, Blender 2.8 is a little bit newer, but it's not compatible with the assignments that we're going to do because it doesn't have the game engine, the new one. The new one looks like this. We're not going to use that yet. So you need 2.78. First thing you're going to see, it automatically gives you a mesh, what we call a mesh, which is just a cube. It also gives you a camera, and it gives you a lamp, sort of a light. And you'll notice it'll give you a little grid here, which show the y-axis, the x-axis, and then you notice the blue or the z-axis is blue. That goes straight up and down. So when you think of z, that's sort of like a volleyball pole or a pole that goes up and down. That's that axis. And we're going to deal with all of those axes throughout the entire course. And you can change around how you want to view. What I'm doing right now on my mouse, I'm just holding down my middle mouse button. I'm holding it down and moving around. So I can look from the bottom. I can look all the way around by holding down my middle mouse button. I can also scroll my middle mouse button in and out and zoom in and zoom out. So you can do a lot of things with your view that way. I can also move the plane. I'm holding down Shift right now. Hold down Shift and middle mouse button down. I can move that back and forth. So lots of different options. Go ahead and play with those. You can also do specific views. So if I wanted to look what the camera sees, I can come behind the camera and then zoom in on the camera to see what it will see. But it only does in certain increments. If you actually want to see what the camera sees, let's hit camera view, which is hit on your keypad, hit 0. So I hit 0. Notice how it shades out all of this stuff out here. That's because my camera screen, my window is the only things that's unshaded. Now to get out of camera view, I just simply hit 0 again. And using your keypad, you notice right now I'm in user perspective. So if I use my keypad and I go 7, I'm going to hit 7. Now I'm from the top perspective. Notice you can see my lamp right here. Okay, and if I zoom out, there's my camera. So I'm looking down I'm looking straight down that pole of the z-axis, and I'm seeing my cube from below. If I hit the keypad 3, now I'm from the right. Notice I'm a little bit below sea level right here. I can move it. All right. Let's hit keypad 5. So actually, let's go back to 7, and now let's hit 5. So you notice right here, it tells you what view you're in. Here's 7. I'm top orthographic. Okay, and if I hit 5, I'm top perspective. What's the difference between perspective and orthographic? Perspective is more like real life, how things look. So if you have a tree that's maybe, let's say, 50 feet in front of you, well, that tree is the size of the tree from that distance. You take that same tree and you move it a half a mile away, it's going to be smaller. That's how you see, and that's just the optical elements in reality. But when we go orthographic, the difference there is all things are the same size with distance. It's tough to explain it here with just these minimal objects on here. Another thing would be like if you're looking at this, like looking out over the ocean here and looking out and you see clouds. Well, those clouds may look the same size to you, but how far are they from you and how far are they from each other? You could have some clouds that are the same size that, you know, they might be 4 miles away from you, and then another cloud that's the same size is 4 miles away from that cloud. So it's just bigger. At this point, orthographic and your regular perspective, there's not much difference for what we're doing right now, but you do have that option. So going around the keypad, if I hit 4 or I hit 1, that's the front. Okay, I hit 9, that's the back. You can move it around. You can also go back and middle mouse button to move around there. Okay, so let's do some funky things to this cube now. Let's select it by right-clicking. So you can right-click the lamp, right-click the cube. I can move this. Right now you have these little widgets down here. This one's transform, this one's rotate, and this one's scale. Okay, so you can, to transform, I can move it along the x-axis, excuse me, or the y-axis, move it along the x, and move it along the z by grabbing the different colors. Okay, I can also rotate. Click down here, click rotate. I can move it along those 3 axes as well. I can also hit, so if I hit RY, that's going to rotate it along only the y-axis. Okay, if I hit RZ, that's only the z-axis. And let's hit RX, and that rotates it only around the x-axis. Okay, so you get used to using your keyboard shortcuts, and also a great keyboard shortcut that for most any software that you're going to use is Control-Z, and I hit Control-Z, and Blender doesn't constrain you to only 1 or 2 undos, so I can undo all the way back to the beginning. Okay, back to where we started, and there we are. Okay, so and be careful over here. Sometimes the constraints, it'll only let you rotate or translate along certain axes. Okay, and if you have that on, it's not going to let you rotate it or move in a certain direction. Also, to move this around, you're not constrained to just transformation. Oh, let's do scale. Let's do scale. So I just hit S on my keyboard, and that scales it, and it's going to scale it proportionally. Okay, let's hit SY. So only along the Y axis will it scale, and let's hit SZ. So only along the Z. Okay, all 3 axes you can do that scale. Or if I just come down here and hit S, okay, it does it proportionally. All right, and I think this is your scale widget right here. So there's only along the Z, there's only along the Y, and here is only along the X. I'm going to go back, so I'm going to hit Control-Z all the way back. And also another keyboard shortcut is G, which is for grab. I can grab that, hit G, and I can grab it and move it around anywhere I want. Okay? Sorry, excuse me. So go ahead and manipulate your cube and just have a little fun with it for right now. But we don't have to stay with just cubes. We can add different types of meshes. If you hit Shift-A, you'll get this little hanging toolbar or a hanging screen, and I want to choose, let's choose UV sphere, which is like a ball. Okay, and it's already scaling it. I'm going to grab that and move it, and now I'm going to scale it. Okay, and look, okay, just made a ball. Hit Shift-A again, and can make a cylinder. Alright, it's on scale. Translate, transform. Okay, and let's make that long. So what's that, the Z-axis? So I'm going to go scale, Z, S, Z, and I'm going to make that kind of long. Alright. Sorry, excuse me. You can also come over here to your, where it says create, this little create tool, and you can choose as well. You don't have to do Shift-A, but it's good to get used to these keyboard shortcuts. I can put in a cone, and notice I'm going to delete that. So I'm going to delete that, and just hitting delete, obviously, or I think I can do Control X. Can I do Control X? No, I just have to hit delete. Okay. Wherever I put my cursor, that's where it's going to put your object. So if I put my cursor down here by left mouse click, and then I click cylinder, there's my cylinder. Okay, undo. Let's put a torus. Ooh, look at that. Scale that out. All right. So go ahead and then, okay, we got plane, cube, circle, UV, sphere, and then out of nowhere we just got a monkey. Ooh, there's a monkey. Let's get him to face us. So, boom. Okay. What I want you to do for your assignment, after you watch this video and when you get to this point, go ahead and put in 6 different meshes. And they shouldn't be the same size as the default size. So this cube is obviously the default size. I don't want you to just give me a cube. I want you to reshape it somehow. Okay? Make it smaller, make it bigger, move it around, rotate it. Just some sort of manipulation, and do 6 different ones. Okay? It's just an exploratory time for you to play with the manipulators and be able to rotate and scale and transform and move. Remember the grab, the G, you can move it anywhere. And then also putting in different types of preloaded meshes. Okay? And that's all you need to do for lesson 1. All right? Except you need to save this. So all we need to do is we're going to go File, Save, but there's a certain way I want you to do this. The default, it's going to call it untitled. I want you to call this lesson 1, okay, in all small letters, no spaces, and then your name in all capitals. So everything that you save in here, you're going to save, these are the conventions. The name of the assignment in all small letters, and your name in all caps right behind it. It's for a couple different reasons, organization, and then sorting later on when you try to sift through all these assignments. Okay, this one is called lesson 1, and then your name. You'll save it obviously to your H drive, which is where your drive is here at school. If you're at home, you'll save it onto your home computer and then upload it to Google. I'll have directions on how to submit this stuff to me later. But for right now, you're just worried about finishing this video and saving it the correct way. Alright, and I just click Save Blender File, and it should say it up at the top. It does, Lesson 1, Jonathan Fick. Alright, that's it. Have fun.